Going on, hustlers? DLA here, back with you guys. Fuck. All right. Let's do this again. I'm going to go ahead and explain to you, like you're 5 years old, how exactly the Defense Logistics Agency does business and how you can sell products to the government. Let's start this over. In today's video, I am going to be re-explaining or re-familiarizing you guys with how exactly the Defense Logistics Agency does business. What's going on, hustlers? Welcome back to the channel. DLA here. If you're unfamiliar with me, I am a corporate pilot, soon to be airline pilot. I got my class date, a marathoner, ultra marathoner, and most importantly, I have been an operator at one of the fastest growing defense contractors in the country over the past 6 years. And as a consultant, I have worked with over 200 contracting firms, helping them win over 8 figures in federal contract awards. And as a bidder, I've won over 130 federal contract awards in the multi 7-figure range. And today I want to address this video to all of our new viewers and subscribers that have recently come across the channel. I'm talking in the past 90 days because you guys have just been showing mad love. Last video did super well. And I know a lot of you guys are looking for answers. You're probably coming from the service side of things and you're like, yeah, that's not for me. That's not really what I want to do. I don't like putting the risk in somebody else's hands, and I don't really like proposal writing. I'm not here to hate on it. My mentor who gave me my start in this space does services, and he let me use his platform. So I'm not here to hate on it. It's just different strokes for different folks. Now, if you're looking for something outside of services, then you're in the right place. So let's just get a couple of things out the way. Let's get a couple of things cleared up. Off rip. What is DLA and who are they? DLA is the Defense Logistics Agency. And you might be thinking, okay, cool, but why is everybody talking about DIBBS? DIBBS is just another acronym, and it stands for DLA Internet Bid Board System. The DLA Internet Bid Board System is just a user interface, or again, in very simple 5-year-old terms, it's a website. It's a website that you go to see all of your contract opportunities, or in the government contracting world, as we call them, solicitations. Why does the government use the word solicitations? Because they are soliciting us as firms to go ahead and submit bids on these contract opportunities. So we've gotten who DLA is and then what DIBBS is out of the way and what a solicitation is. But you might be thinking, okay, well, if DLA is the Defense Logistics Agency, does this mean I can only sell weapons or I'm only selling to the military? It's a great question. It's a totally valid question. And the answer is a big fat no. So DLA actually is a wholesaler. Now, if you're thinking, okay, well, I don't know what a wholesaler means. I know about real estate wholesale. I know about clothing wholesale. I'm just going to relate it to something that you do know. You definitely do know about Walmart or Sam's Club or BJ's or Costco. Wholesalers buy things in bulk from whoever these vendors are. So, for instance, a vendor could be, let's say Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay is a vendor, right? So what Costco will do is they'll go ahead and they'll buy a bunch of Frito-Lay products, a bunch of chips, and then stock their shelves. And then us as consumers, we would be DLA in this case. We would go to Costco, and then we would actually go to Costco, and then we would actually purchase these chips. Now, just to clarify something that I said earlier, DLA is a wholesaler. So what do I mean by this? Whenever the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Space Force needs something, you don't sell it directly to them. You can do that. There are ways. There are other bid boards. But specifically when you're selling to DLA, if you guys are new here, I'm a chronic yawner. I'm well rested today. I got like 10 hours of sleep, but I'm a chronic yawner. So what happens is we sell to DLA, and then the Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, Marines, they go ahead and they purchase stuff from DLA. So fun fact, the military actually sells amongst itself or within each other. So when you see that big, sexy $1 trillion defense budget that the Orange Man is publishing, a lot of that also constitutes the transactions that the military does amongst itself. So essentially, what we are is a glorified personal shopper for the U.S. military. So DLA will go ahead and publish their solicitations. And the cool thing about their solicitations is they'll tell you how much they want, how much of the product they want, They'll tell you how they want the product packaged. They tell you when they want the product by. They even tell you who they want the product to be made by, or how they want it to be made if it does not yet exist. So they'll go ahead and they'll publish that on the internet. It's publicly accessible. Anybody can get on it. You don't even have to be in the US to access this website and take a look at the stuff that's on there. And then what happens is you examine the solicitation. There's a couple things that you look for, some things that you want to avoid. I've got plenty of videos on that. Head to the tutorial page on my channel if you want to get an in-depth breakdown of how to attack a solicitation. And then you'll go ahead and follow the instructions that are provided to you in the solicitation in terms of how much they need, when they want to buy, who they want to buy. And then you'll go and you'll reach out to your vendor. Your vendor will give you a quote. Ideally, your quote should give you your pricing, availability, and then any additional trace documents. What is trace? Trace is essentially just like the, it's like the same way we have driver's licenses and social security cards and college IDs and employee IDs. Essentially just documentation that verifies the product is what we say it is, or what we tell DLA it is. So when you're reaching out to your vendor, you should have some sort of agreement or clarification as to when you're going to get the trace and what kind of trace will be provided. Then you get that information, you'll mark it up, you'll take into consideration the cost of packaging, the cost of shipping, whatever margin you need to make if you're a big company, any of your labor, and then you'll go to DIBBS and then you'll submit your bid. So to clarify, DIBBS is where you get your contract opportunities from, or your solicitations from. That's where you can view them. And it's also where you go to submit your bids. Now, if you are a longtime viewer and you're watching this just to go ahead and get reacquainted with the way the industry's changed, or even if you're brand new and you want to accelerate your timeline for doing business with DLA, which, fun fact, 51% of the contracts that DLA publishes, either no one bids on them or only one person bids on them. So it's a drastically underserved market. But if you're new and you don't want to submit your bids one at a time, and you want to know exactly how we went in and implemented best operating procedures and quality assurance practices with over 200 companies, helping them win over 8 figures, keep watching and check out Contracts AI. It's a software that I built. We just released version 2.0. You can try it for 7 days free. You could submit up to 75 bids at one time. Our AI agent will send out all of your RFQs for you and get all of your pricing and availability for you. And we can also tell you which products DLA is buying the most aggressively. So if that interests you, keep watching.
Still looking for products to provide and contracts to bid on manually? There's a more efficient way. With AI-powered market research based on criteria your firm gives the model, Contracts AI instantly shows solicitations you can win and products you can sell. Save time and win DLA awards 7 times faster. Compare solicitations in seconds. Get packaging and technical requirements broken down for every RFQ. Know how to price your bid with curated algorithms to calculate your markup for you. Gone are the days of FPDS and DIBBS' archaic user interface. This is world-class market research.
So, why did I bring that up? Well, Contracts AI allows you to go ahead and submit your bids within our application up to 75 at one time, and then you go ahead and then you can just download a little TXT file. Essentially, it's just like a uglier looking PDF, and then you can go ahead and upload that directly into DIBBS, and then you can expedite your bidding process. So if you thought services took a long time and then you came here to DIBBS and then you're like, yeah, I heard this is faster, well, we just made it even faster. But anyways, so what happens is you submit your bid, and then there's a couple ways that your bid can be evaluated. It could be evaluated automatically by an algorithm or auto award, or it could be evaluated by a human being or multiple human beings. So sometimes there's a contracting officer's representative who will go and visually inspect all of the bids that were submitted. And there's a couple things that get taken into consideration, or a couple things that determine whether or not you win or lose. Number one is obviously your price. Number two is how long it's going to take for you to ship it to them. Number three is who you're getting the material for. Number four is, did you change any of the logistical requirements of the contract? So if the government says, hey, we want you to pay for the shipping, and they're like, no, I want you guys to pay for the shipping, that makes a difference. And then number 5 is your past performance. Now, a lot of people see this and they're like, oh my God, I have no past performance, so I'm cooked. That's beyond cap. Most of the companies that we work with are startups. So even if you don't have any past performance, you 1000% can go ahead and stick your foot in the door and make a name for yourself and then eventually kick the door down. But I bring this up to be 100% transparent and be a straight shooter with you guys and let you know that, hey, when you're first starting out, it is not unlikely that your price might be more competitive than somebody else's. And then you're going to complain and be like, why didn't I win? And then I'm going to tell you, well, you are a risk. The government is very risk averse. Doing business with a brand new company is risky. And somebody who has past performance means that they're less risky. So when it comes down to risk analysis, the federal government will more than likely choose will more than likely choose an established company over a brand new company if everything else is considered equal. But then if all the other facets of your bid are more competitive, then you'll win. And we see it happen all the time. So that is essentially what goes into winning your contract. Now, there are 2 types of life cycles when it comes to doing business with DLA and selling products to the government. Number 1 is the pre-award life cycle, which is everything that I just gave you sauce on. And then number 2 is the post-award life cycle. So what happens after you win the contract? Well, after you win, then you enter a legally binding agreement with your company and then the U.S. government. And instead of it being a request for quotation, you'll get a new email with a link to a PDF that is going to say, hey, you have been awarded an order for supplies or services. You're going to open up the PDF. And then on the top of the PDF, instead of request for quotation, it's going to say order for supplies. And then it's going to have your company name on there, how much you're selling the product for, what you're selling the product, or what product it is that you're selling, all that good stuff. All the instructions that they told you that they wanted you to adhere to before you won the contract, those instructions also get published in the contract opportunity. So then what happens after that? Then you need to go ahead and get your product. So you can reach out to your vendor at this point in time and be like, hey, I'd like to place a purchase order, or you can be like, hey, you could send me those products on net 30 or whatever discount terms that you agree to. But again, my job here is to be a straight shooter with you guys. If you're a brand new company and you're fulfilling a $50,000 contract, it's highly unlikely that somebody is going to give you net 30 your first time around. If you did want to get net 30, you would definitely need to have good credit, business or personal. And then you're also going to want to have some references, some people that these companies or these vendors can reach out to on your behalf and be like, hey, is this a solid person to do business with? Anyways, however you decide to get your product, whether you pay for it up front, cash on delivery, half up front, half on the back end, net 30, net 20, whatever it is that you decide to do, you'll then go ahead and then purchase your product. But also make sure as you are sending your purchase order, which you can generate inside any of the free invoicing softwares. Wave is a good one. I know QuickBooks also exists. They have a free version, but they also have a paid version. But in either of those versions or either of those applications, you'll go ahead and generate a purchase order. Then you'll go ahead and generate an invoice because you need to invoice the government. And then you're also going to want to generate a sales order for your own internal records. And then you'll go ahead, you'll reach back out to your vendor and just confirm that they're going to give you the proper trace, whether that be a packing slip from them as the vendor to you, or if they're a distributor for a manufacturer, the authorized manufacturers, or whatever the case may be. We got a lot of videos on that on this channel. But you'll go ahead, you'll send that order, that stuff will come to you, and then you can receive, inspect, and package the material. I do have a hour and a half long video on how to package products for DLA, so you guys can go check that out. Or you can drop ship. So it is totally feasible to live your life without ever actually seeing your product when doing business with DLA. And the number one way to do that is when you submit your bid, you want to go ahead and get a quote on the shipping. If you can't tell at this point in the video, or if you haven't been able to tell at this point in the video, things are authentic, but also a little bit chaotic on this channel.
So I got frustrated that my camera died, but basically what I was talking about is you can go ahead and you can drop ship your material by going ahead and getting a quote on your packaging and then the cost of the shipping from a company that will comply with the mil-spec packaging, and then subsequently you'll mark that up into your bid accordingly when you get ready to submit. And then once you've gone ahead and submitted and then you've won all that jazz that we were hypothetically already talking about in the video, once you've won the contract, then you'll go ahead and go to this place called PI, which is Procurement Integrated Electronic Enterprise. It's a website. And then you'll go to said website and then you will invoice the government so you can get paid. One caveat here, you need to have shipped the material before you can invoice the government. So it does not have to have arrived at their facility, but it does have to have been shipped for you to invoice the government. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed that video. That's a breakdown of how to do business with DLA. If you're new here, welcome to the chaos that is my YouTube channel. And yeah, DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. Got to be following me for a response. Click the link down below. Try out our software. Hope you like it. Miss you. Love you. Okay, bye.